Are you a crafter with multi-interests, meaning you have lots of little things everywhere? So am I. I'm going to share my best secret for keeping on track and organized with all those random little things that live in our craft room. Let's get started. Hello, I'm Noreen Eppley, and while I might be a professional organizer, I am a crafter to the core, meaning when I have little scraps of things or little random items laying about, I find value in them and know that I can use it for a future craft or DIY or upcycle. That means I have a lot of little things lying around. Now, if you've ever watched my videos before, I love talking to you about organizing and decluttering with creating zones, bullseyes, getting those little systems in place for how things fit into your room. But there's a lot that doesn't fit into those neat bullseye category zones. Today I'm going to show you a trick that I created about 5 years ago. It has worked beautifully in my room and it has worked for every client I've introduced it to, and I know it's going to work for you. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may not know I am an extreme budget girl. If I can make something with items I already have, or if I can upcycle something super affordably, that's always going to be the avenue I go. And this project is no different. This is made with everyday food storage bags, and you can always get these at your local dollar store, Target, Walmart, or inexpensively online on Amazon. So here's an example. With a shoebox, you can use little snack size bags. One of the bins from the dollar store fit the quart size, and in any Amazon box or IKEA box will fit the 1 gallon bag. Once you choose what size food storage bag you want, you're going to need an insert inside these bags. This can be cardstock, cut up manila file folders. You can even use empty cereal boxes or leftover cardboard. And here's a quick peek at what this is going to look like. With the cardstock I have on hand, I cut the cardstock a 1/2 inch smaller to fit inside the bag so there's some wiggle room. This works really well as an insert, and here's why. The insert serves as two things. It gives you a place to put a title, but it also will stand up inside of the box or container, making it easier to file through. Now we're going to lay out the cardboard just so it's easier to sort. And we're going to start laying out things in categories. In this case, I'm using my miscellaneous hardware repair box. So I'm separating screws from pull handles, from dowels, from chair slides. There's a lot of random things here, but I'm going to break it down. Once I have the category sorted, you write a generic title on the top of the cardboard so it can be seen. Now, a lot of people get caught up in the category part. The labeling of what the category is can be super generic. You see, I'm just doing simple things like drawer pulls, screen repair. If I'm doing it in my craft area, I'll do simple titles like fabric, pipe cleaners. Whatever you immediately think of what this item is called is what the generic category is. And what's so beautiful about this system is you can break them down as simplistically as you want and even just have one type of thing inside of this bag. You're going to see how space saving this is and how easy it is to find things once we get them all inside of the bags. So I'm going to continue writing the names at the top of what each simple thing is. In this case, the hardware is probably the hardest because it's a lot of screws and nails. So I'm going through just to make sure there's nothing else in there. I have some wood dowels. I'm keeping the wall anchors with the screws, and you'll want to make sure that these are as flat as possible so they don't poke through the bag. If you find that it's poking through, just get a thicker bag or maybe even double bag it. Now the next big trick here, if you see I'm putting things in, you're going to notice that I'm really pressing out the air. And if I have a difficult bulky item, I'll actually suction out through the little hole. And I know that seems so weird, but suctioning out the air helps keep the items in place on the board. And the less air you have in this box, the more space you'll have for your items. In the example of these wooden dowels, you're going to notice I take them out of the container so that I can lay them all flat. This means that I'll have more space in the box, and by pressing the air out, even when I shake the bag, those dowels stay in place. That's the beauty of getting the air out and having the cardstock in so that this piece stays upright and firm. Now with these felt glides, because they have a nail in them, I'm going to leave it in its original package because I'm worried that the nail is going to poke through. That's also the case here with the nails and the screws. I want to make sure that they lay really flat because they have a tendency to poke out otherwise. So use your discretion. If you have a lot of sharp hardware, you might want to go ahead and keep that in a separate container. Now it's time to start putting the things inside. I always make sure I have a few blanks on hand so that as I add a category, it's super quick to put it away. Then all I do is alphabetize these. So when I'm looking for something, I can sift through and find the item super fast. This is the existing box that I've had. These are all of my miscellaneous craft items, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm peeking through to make sure that what I have as a category is still making sense for me. The wood blocks and wood miscellaneous pieces has gotten out of hand. So I've separated the wood beads because I use those all of the time. And the little wood Jenga blocks I'm also reaching in for all of the time. And so I'm going to switch those into a container. When I realize an item I have is being used more frequently, I remove it from the miscellaneous bag. But every other little wood scrap I have, I'm removing the air and I'm putting back into my miscellaneous box. The little jars on my shelf are easy for me to get into, and I like the look of it. Another little category that's grown exponentially has been my floral use. So I'm taking out everything as much as I can from packages so that it will lie as flat as possible. And I'm putting the things like pens and the floral tape in the front so I can see them. But again, get that air out, hug it, lay on it, suck it out with a straw. However it works for you to get the air out is what works best. My fabric kind of grew out of hand, so I'm separating it into two categories. I'm still keeping all of my felt and fabric together, but the next large thing that's in there is burlap, so I'm just going to separate those two. All good systems need to be reevaluated, so just make it a habit to revisit how your items are being stored every couple months or even once a year, just so you know if it's working for you. The best thing about your craft room is you can always revamp, try a new system, break things down again to make sure that it's working the most efficiently for you. And I keep every little scrap. Please tell me in the comments if you're doing that too, if you keep all of the little things. But do you see how flat that burlap is? Once I hug it tight to get the excess air out, it's a super flat item that won't take much space. The reason I love this so much is it takes away the need for multiple containers and for having to identify likes with likes if you're not sure. It allows all of these items to live in one easy to find and one easy to put away place. The other reason I love this so much is this can be sized to whatever your need is. Do you have a lot of random things? Use a file cabinet. Just starting out, get a small box with those small bags and you can grow this as you need, even if it means breaking it into a couple of boxes and just segmenting the alphabet into 1, 2, 3 or more sections. In my craft room, I just have it on a lower shelf so that it's out of the way, not taking up prime real estate, but it's so easy for me to just pull it out, open the lid, grab what I need, but it also makes it so easy to put away. And those blank bags in the back mean I can always add more. For my workbench, I have the miscellaneous repair items, and once again, it's so easy to pull out, go through alphabetically to what I need, put it back when I'm done. This is such an easy and quick system to create. The longest part is creating the little inserts to go inside the bag, but hopefully you see why they're so important. And going through and deciding what the category names are. My husband said the naming of categories is the hardest part for him because he never knows what to call things. I say the first thing that comes to your mind when you look at an item, is it a pen? Is it a hook? Is it fabric? Is it wax? That's what you name it, because when you're thinking of the item, it'll be that category name that you reference to. And if you're not sure, play with a couple of names. Keep a running list at the front with maybe some details. If you're not really sure how to name this, you can always put that list either at the very front of the box or on the inside of the lid until these category names become super automatic for you. If you'd like to be friends, please click that subscribe button. I am so happy to have so many new subscribers, and I'm trying to chat with each and every one of you in the comments below, so make sure you leave a comment as well. Like, share this video if it had any value for you, and as always, thank you to my Patreons. They are the ones that allow me to make these videos and make all of these posts possible. So a huge thanks to them and to you for visiting today. I will see you guys in just a few days with the next video. Bye.